Well, work in retail essentially taught me about overall the world and business and how sort of on an individual basis this life goes is that, especially living in America, most things in life really is just business, right? And I've just been having these thoughts. I've just been having these sort of realizations that living in America really is not like America isn't even really like a country. I don't believe America really is a country per se. I believe more so America is more akin to a business rather than a country. And the people that are willing to stay here long enough are essentially feeding the business rather than living actual lives, right? So the 1% could kind of enjoy themselves, get their little tax write-offs, do all sort of shady shit while the regular person is working and barely making ends meet. And a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." You know, it's wild that you say that, Drake. Or like, what do you mean by that? It's like in every sense, if you really are just looking, especially in retail, like if you're just opening your eyes and realizing, bro, this is just business. And how retail plays a part into this, right, is, I've been seeing these videos online of people are like, people would be in my comment sections like, yeah, like it's hard to get a job. Like, I have a degree. Why am I not getting a job? It's like, man, like they don't want people who are like, from a business standpoint, would your business be able to run if you had like 10 people on roll, none of them are full-timers, and they have degrees? It's like they could leave at any time. So that would make it so that the business's sort of ability to get people in the door and keep them to further make the business owner money, right? And the people under it would make that a lot harder. So the real business decision would be to sort of get a whole bunch of people that really, that unfortunately don't have much going on in their lives and want to just provide for themselves, maybe for them families. They've gone through some stuff, maybe felons, people who don't have degrees. It'd be easier to get them in the door and have them be sustainable and long-time workers because they don't have any other options. As a business decision, a retail job would love a person that doesn't have anything going on in their life, and everybody's in on it too. Everybody fully understands that, and we walk around as if that sort of shit is normal. Like, it's insane. We in America are walking around like this sort of shit is normal, and as soon as you wake up to it and you start to like say something about it, maybe you speak up about it, people think you're crazy, and like you want change, you want something to happen so something could change, and people start to like, a lot of people are just too scared of reality, I'm starting to realize, which is I guess that's why I'm starting to like more so want to be a little bit towards myself as I get a little older, because I'm starting to realize that, man, it's crazy. Like, nobody wants to do anything about it. Nobody even wants to have the conversation about how crazy shit is going in this country. Like, this is all just business, especially being in New York. Like, I grew up and Times Square was the biggest thing, right? It's like most of the people going there don't even got probably more than $1,000, $2,000 saved, but we always like going there just to hang out and look at all this stuff. And, the adults that are living there now can't escape the city. They can't escape the sort of corporate living that, they're used to, that we're used to. And as soon as we get the money, we spend it. We spend it on the larger conglomerates, the larger businesses, to have our little momentary reprieve, and then it's back to the work grind. It's back to the 9 to 5, back to the life that we want to escape, right? We escape it by getting bottle service and going out and partying and doing all these things, rather than actually building something. It might be a long-term goal or something you got to work on, but just these little things, just corporate America and how everything is so corporate, and how like businesses and retail jobs sort of suck the life out of you and dehumanize the experience, right? And then you just chalk it up to the game at the end of the day. It's just a game, right? It's just, you got to play your part. And like, all of this shit really is weird. And I think a lot more people are starting to realize that in 2026. And it's like, America's just a business, bro. I don't really see this as like a country anymore. There's a lot of like hardcore America stands that people are so like proud, and it's like, I'm proud of my country too. I of course love my country because I know it could be a lot better. It could be a lot worse, I should say. And I'm very blessed for the opportunity to live here. But you should never want to live in a country in which talking or at least expressing criticism for the ways that the people that are directing us, like, we should be able to express criticism on a daily basis, because then that keeps everybody on their toes. If you can't express criticism for the systems in place that are holding you down and not making it so you can live a prosperous life, then you're essentially living in some of the countries we have today that have less sort of, or more restrictions on the sort of things that you could say. And I think as a country, we need to start being more critical and not let our foot off the gas, right? Like, there shouldn't be so many, and it's our fault too, right? You got to understand, we all have a part to play in this. Work dynamics and the sort of things that we allow, and the sort of cultures that we are inhabiting and also promoting. It's all of our faults. We need to do better as a country, right? So it doesn't feel like it's just business. Everything is just business nowadays, right? Just chalk it up to the game. It's just the way that things are. That's the common phrase that people would use. And it's like, that's very weird. That's extremely weird. And I would never subscribe to the idea that things are just the way that they are. You're essentially just giving up, and I don't like that. I'm so tired of the notion that in sort of environments like the retail environment, in the social environment, we kind of just let people make mistakes and do all type of stupid shit just out of the need for comfort or not wanting to say something. Like, we need to be making the experience better for all of us. It can't just always be business. We already live in a business-oriented country in which the regular person is being taken advantage of just for the needs of like 1,000 people. Like, that's a small number, right? But a not majority sort of amount of people. And I'm not one of those eat the rich or F the 1% sort of people, but like, you gotta be critical. You gotta realize that this shit is just all business. And it's come to the point where it's like it's just an arena. It's just a battle royale. Now, like, the bottom 99% is fighting the bottom 99% for the same resources that we should have access to in the first place. How does that work out? We're hurting and messing with each other, right? When we should be trying to better the experience for all of us, for all people. And it just sucks. Like, I'm growing up and I'm starting to really realize that it's just all business. Your job, your relationships, everything is just business. Like, I'm 26, living in America now, realizing all this stuff. And it's just really weird. I don't know how we go forward, I wish I had the answer in these videos. There's a couple of answers, right? They ain't easy answers, but I believe we need to start having more of these conversations, right? Like, it shouldn't just be that everything is just business nowadays. We're taking the human aspect out of things, out of just the need for survival or greed. If it's not survival, it's greed. If we're bottom 99%, bottom of the caste system living in America, then it's just business, right? But if we're at the top 1% and we're doing things, then it's just greed. It's crazy how that works. At the end, both stances are not justified. We need to do better. It could start with you, it could start with me, it could start in how we treat people, our relationships. Because when you have a society that's just business, like, imagine, the terrible work conditions during the Industrial Revolution. That was just business. The people dying and getting Fossey jaw and all these other like sort of weird like, you know, toxins in their bodies and all these sort of psychological and physical effects that were happening to them while working in the factories, right? Operating these big ass machines on the assembly line. It was just business and people were dying. It's just business at the end of the day. If you gotta, that's what they say. Even if a couple people gotta, you know, pass away just for us to make our bottom line, our margins, it's just business. That's what happens when you operate in a society in which it's just business. Top 1% gets what they want, the bottom 99% dies, and it's just business. That's just how life goes. I believe in the duality of life and yin and yang, right? But not in this way. Not in this way. We gotta do better. It can't just be business. Whether you're the top 1% or bottom 99%, we have to treat people with respect, kindness, and humanity. At the end of the day, we got to start prioritizing humanity again. Life has gotten so bad that we've started to put humanity on the backseat out of survival. Now we're living in a Fortnite, a Call of Duty Warzone Battle Royale. We got to start prioritizing humanity again. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think about this video. We have to start having these conversations more. Like always, I love to have these conversations with you guys in the comment section. I'm just a dude that like talking about shit, ranting about shit while I work, as I actively try to get out of this place. It's coming soon. It's gonna happen. But yeah, follow. That does a lot. Especially liking the video too. It does a lot for me. I love you guys. Another knife flip for good luck. And have a great day. Peace.